Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I think Rexiipher has been kidnapped. Just found a video of an interview from Write It Out. Seems pretty interesting. Pretty certain this means Write It Out has to go to jail. But, I don't know. Let's find out what happened. Let's see what this interview's about. It's probably about some of the new stuff he's been working on, like Deltarune. Actually, I've really been enjoying the first episode of Deltarune so far, and obviously for me, didn't really know about him until Freak Show came out, kind of by accident. I'm not even sure how I found out about him. I think someone just told me about it, and we've kind of been watching his stuff ever since. So he's been doing his thing, man. So let's check out this interview with Rexiipher and Write It Out and see what happens, man.
Today, I stole a streamer and Minecraft roleplayer and made him sit down with me and answer my questions.
You stole him?
Hi, that's me.
You stole him. Oh, okay. So so jail, right? So like arrest, prison. That's French. That's French for prison.
I'm Rexiipher.
You may or may not have heard of Rexiipher, but you probably know his very popular series like Sword Art MMO, Mythos SMP.
I didn't know about that. He did a Sword Art Online MMO. When was this? I don't think I've seen any of these up here. I haven't seen any of these.
Okay, fine. There's also Freak Show. So
it's also a Freak Show. Why was it the toss? Why was it the toss up? I mean, why would you throw that? Wait, what's this sword over here? That's nice. Wait, is that Doki Doki Literature Club? Hold on a second. Let me move my camera, man. Hey, you know how I always have to move my camera no matter where I put it every single time? Isn't that great? Oh man, I'm leaving this in. Man, awesome. I love it when it happens. Hopefully I won't have to move it ever again in this video. There we go. All right, let's see what's going on here.
yeah, let's hop right into the interview. Also, please subscribe.
Sir, you have no arms.
Rexiipher. Big fan, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
I'm doing good. I took a nap today. I woke up at some point. Now I'm here, and so far this has been my.
Oh, that sounds like the perfect day. I wish I can do that. Can I have that life? I'm actually kind of tired right now.
Real quick, I mentioned in the intro, but we gotta talk about Sword Art MMO and Alunera. I think those are the shortest series that you have done, with Sword Art
animated
only
this?
getting 4 videos and Alunera barely getting 6.
Yeah, that's true. I was running my own projects at the time, which was Mythos and Skyline, and they were operating very well.
Mythos and
then
Skyline,
as offshoots, I had a couple of friends that decided that they were putting together their projects, and that's what became Samo and Alunera.
This was kind of a crazy time for your channel because you had a lot going on. You were doing Mythos SMP, and then Skyline was happening on the side, and then out of
At the
nowhere,
same
you
time?
did an episode for Alunera, and then a trailer for Echoes of Arcadia would soon follow after, along with a random episode of Sword Arts, all within the same.
How is he doing all this at once? How is he doing that? This seems like a lot.
like 3 months.
During that time, a lot of my content that I was producing was almost exclusively live stream content. So it's
Oh, okay, so you just edited live stream content.
like a kind of live
That
stream
helps.
format with like the very occasional cinematic.
Improv?
In regards
Got
to
it.
like Mythos and Skyline, it was more easy for me to keep in control of those series and like stay on top of them versus like Alunir and Samo, which ended up as short as you observed, primarily because the people running those projects eventually just weren't able to maintain or keep up with the workload burden that was, running their own
it looks
project
massive,
was
so that
heavily
makes
story-based.
sense.
I think one of the most impressive things was just the scale of how you were operating. You were live streaming like almost every.
Just so you guys are wondering where I'm thinking at right now, like I would imagine one of the most difficult things about doing these large scale projects, especially whether it's Minecraft or not, is just like the story, like the writing. It has to have a continuity. It has to make sense, and you have to kind of have this roadmap of where it's gonna go already in place. If you try to do it as you go, oftentimes without the roadmap of sorts, like you could go a lot of directions at once and maybe pause at a certain point in the main timeline and write about some side stories or maybe some things that didn't get fully addressed or resolved. You can do that, but if you don't have that ready to go before you begin a project, well, and you can kind of you can kind of screw yourself over, and I would imagine that happens with a lot of people who don't do that kind of who don't have that kind of writing background, or who don't do enough work in advance before they ever get into actually even turning on the game.
every day doing all these series and storylines. I mean, looking back to like the Mythos SMP, it was mostly you having fun on a server with a lot of chaos, but there were some cool moments of cinematics and actual good storytelling, especially towards the end.
We were at a rhythm where we were putting out a stream every few days. There were days where we'd finish it, and then that night I would come up with what would happen the next live stream, and we'd spend the next couple of days making.
Wow, so he came up with it pretty much not on the spot, but relatively quickly. Does that mean he had some type? My question would be, did he have some type of skeleton of what? Because you could have it improv, but still have like a skeleton of what the story is gonna go, like the beginning, middle, and end, and some points to like bounce off of even as you're doing the improv. So was he doing that, or was it all just at the top of his head after the stream was done? Okay, now we can do this. Now we can do that. That's a lot of pressure to put on one person.
The sets for it, and then by the time the third day would come, we'd put it out. There were occasional live streams that were like took a bunch of work, such as like our dungeons or our big climaxes for arcs, where we took like a week or two in order to get those ready. For the most part, the average Mythos episode, we were doing them like as soon as we had them ready, and we were working non-stop on it. And in between that, yeah, I was streaming anything and everything that
that sounds like non-stop. Yeah, it sounds like you don't get much of a break. I wonder if the burnout was strong with this one. Because I think that's really the main concern I would have had, like the burnout.
I could, whether it was just like goof off Minecraft, or if it was Roblox, or just other games that were trending at the time that I could play with a group of people.
Does a part of you actually?
I'm really bad with playing trending games constantly. I'm kind of lazy to part when it comes to that.
Initially, I was a heavy Twitch streamer. In fact, I almost exclusively streamed on Twitch. I didn't even have an active YouTube channel, and it was like that for, I would say, like the greater.
You gotta play some Roblox,
It wasn't until I was very deep into it and into Mythos where I was like, hey, it might be helpful to actually have my VODs somewhere people could watch. I definitely do a lot more work on my YouTube channel than I do
Deltarune.
In part, that is possibly because YouTube has proven to be way more successful in finding outreach and producing higher quality content. I still like them both. I like doing
I like them both too. Like I kind of wish I did better on my Twitch side, to be honest. I'm not sure what I need someone to like sit me down and be like, okay, here's the strategy. This is what we gotta do. This is what you're doing wrong. Because I don't know why my Twitch side isn't popping like my YouTube side. You know what I mean? Like, strangely enough. I kind of wish it was, but maybe I just gotta stream more games or something. I don't know. I really don't know. It's really hard to figure out like what works here on the Twitch side compared to the YouTube side. It seemed to come more naturally on the YouTube side.
Twitch mainly now
for me,
as just a way to be able to connect with my audience and kind of letting loose and having fun.
Really happy you stuck around. You've definitely made such a big impact. It's really cool to see how much you've progressed over these past few years.
Isn't Right out on some of his Rex's projects?
How did you get your start with it? Did it all start with Casting Call Club? I saw your first submission.
Casting Call Club. For me, it was Voice Acting Alliance. I do have an account on Casting Call Club. Maybe I'll go back on there and see if there's any auditions, or if someone reached out to me for for stuff. I might need to go back on there and look. Maybe we'll have a stream where we look for Casting Call Club auditions and we just do them on stream. How about that? Would that be fun for you guys? That might be something we should do.
Which is like only a month after you made the Rexiipher channel.
Initially, I got into theater and like drama around like 8th grade, 9th grade. I don't know what it is about like acting and performing that's always had some kind of like allure to me. I read a lot of books as a kid. I always liked stories. Were kind of more adventure based. Like I liked Percy Jackson. I liked Harry Potter. Being able to be a part.
He reads a lot more than me, man.
Story or leading character was always something that I wanted, and that eventually led me to voice acting.
He wants to be the guy.
Performances.
He wants to be the MC.
Practicing my acting ability, and then shortly after that I started working on getting voice acting portfolios set up because I was already
very curious. I want to know what kind of professional training or workshops he took for voiceover. You know what I mean? This is 2018, so there was online classes and workshops and stuff like that. So I'm curious on what he did. Maybe he took stuff in college though, because it sounds like he has a little bit of a theater background too. So that's kind of cool. Which means, okay, so that means, based on what he said here, that means he has a solid writing background already. Like, it seems like he was pushing himself to that already before he thought about doing stuff on his channel.
online, and I realized that indie projects like Ruby, fan dubs for
Oh, you're a fan of
webtoons
Ruby?
and things like that, and I wanted to try to get my foot in the
That'd be
door
cool
for
if
that,
Rex
to
could
kind
meet
of, like, live
Lindsay
out
then.
that dream I had of being a protagonist in a series. Then around that time, I spent like
I
think
wanna be the
24
guy!
bucks on, like, I want to say it was a newer NW 700 was the specific model of my.
Oh, I had that growing up.
Oh,
too.
old budget microphones.
It's like a $20.
By the way, when I was in New York and I recorded for Minor Demons, I was in like a horrible. I was doing it in my living room, using a box and blankets to cut like, and some cheap foam from Amazon to try to, like, do anything to help with the sound. And I had a Blue Yeti. God, it was so awful. But that's what I was dealing with back then because I was so effing broke.
Mic, maybe 25 bucks. 2018 technically is when I started auditions, and I was auditioning to pretty much every project that I could. Most of which
That's how you do
went
it.
Not very far. There are some I still
That's
think fondly
fine.
of.
And all because of the NW microphone. Man, that's crazy. We all start somewhere, huh? Speaking of your old equipment, how did you feel when you replaced your old chair? I remember in a charity live stream you
Chair?
did, you showed off like a library chair that you used
that's
for
what
a
he looks
long
like.
time. Do you feel like you finally made it now having a new chair?
Why does he look
What's
familiar?
craziest is the biggest marker. It's gonna sound a little.
Why I feel like
strange, but it's
I
when
know this
got
guy.
a
Like
new
I've met this guy
computer
before.
more than anything else.
That's not strange.
It's like
Huh.
the biggest piece, you know, and it's not necessarily conducive for everything else. When I was able to buy my own computer
Probably
after
capping.
running on like a hunk of junk, it happened like midway through Mythos. I was filming
I need a new
live
computer too,
streams
bro.
on low
I feel that.
frame rate. They would glitch out quite often. I would be like dropping frames. Like often I was running without shaders. And at a certain point, like a couple hundred episodes into Mythos, I got a new computer and I was able to have my
Oh, it
hands on
looks
something more
different.
modern.
Looks a
A
lot
lot
better.
a lot more freedom that I didn't have for years before that point, and I was able to get that computer because of the success I was getting on Twitch at the time.
Ah,
Mind
so
you,
he's able to
wasn't even
save
a lot. I was
from
saving up
Twitch
for months.
revenue.
It was a complete game changer. It was the first
Yeah.
example of what my success could inevitably do for me. Felt like it was investing in my future, that I was putting that money.
sound
back
alright
into
when you
myself,
voiced
and I was
Ryzen MID.
betting
I
on
appreciate it,
myself to
GG.
succeed. And so far, it's worked out.
Yeah, so far it's worked out. It's not like you have 100,000 subscribers now.
Hey man,
Yeah, definitely couldn't have ever
Yo,
expected that when I was first.
send me
starting.
some.
Truly
Give me
enjoyed to
some.
see.
Give me some hints, bro. Give me some advice. That's what I would ask. If I was to talk to him, I would say, give me some advice, man. How am I supposed to do this YouTube thing, man? What's the deal? I like what we're doing right now. We're kind of just chilling and hanging out and reacting to hilarious stuff. I kind of like what we're doing right now, but I definitely want to know. You know, he's been doing it way longer than me, right? And like what we do is completely different, anyways, in terms of content. But I still would like to hear like some advice. You know what I mean?
Like honestly, like I'd love to see it as a fan of just being like, oh, you're so cool. I guess a lot of fans talk about how much they love your series and like especially the Mythos with being almost 300 episodes.
I've never
With
watched
having such a cult
Mythos.
following
What do you guys
around
think
it,
about
what
it?
was
Let me know in the
like when you
comments.
switched from Mythos to Skyline or just more cinematic roleplays.
I saw the limitations. Once you get like 200 something episodes deep with 2+ hour VODs each time, it kind
Most
of
people are
becomes
lucky
hard
to get to
stomach
200.
and access as a new viewer. As you go, what? I have to watch months worth of footage.
Oh,
I
it's
pretty
like
much have to
One
watch
Piece.
the One Piece of Minecraft
Oh, there you go,
roleplays
see.
to be able to get into
Or
this
Detective
channel,
Conan.
and I felt like that was going to be a barrier that would stop people. The actual world of Mythos, I was quite attached to at the time, but I saw the flaws in it within the story, random lore that didn't really feel like.
So you
conducive to the
shortened the
overarching plot. A lot
story
of
to
things that were
compensate,
unclear. And I
to make it easier
wondered
for
a
newer viewers to
while,
get
I was
in?
thinking of what if I took this world setting and I made it more shonen, proper like adventure anime reminiscent of like Black
What do you
Clover
mean?
or Bleach or like a lot of those series that
Okay.
a lot of younger kids grew up on. Condense the plot down way more to
Condense
be
the
a
plot.
little bit
Yep.
more consumable.
Like
At the
a
time,
13 episode
I
series.
only knew how to do this through a live stream format.
Or, like,
It had
season.
not crossed my mind on how
That
I
works.
could possibly write a story within short episodic episodes. That's
What
just
is
something I
this?
just learned over the years through writing. Skyline was my attempt at trying to make a more condensed, linear story.
You mentioned in a video.
You see
that
a lot
this
of
show was actually your
experimentation
dream
here.
series. Could you tell us more about that?
When I was in college, I would say this is a couple years into my content creation journey. The timeline of this, we were probably working on Echoes of Arcadia. I took a class in college.
Oh, yeah, we kinda
and
started
mind you,
watching
I was
that,
majoring in
too.
English, but I didn't
kinda
really
started watching that
prioritize college or
recently.
care too much for college. I did enough that I was consistent.
Which one was
getting
Rex
B's
in
and
that
A's
vid-
my
in that clip,
classes. I
guys?
was BSing my way through most of my assignments. Most of your assignments are essays. As long as you just write something largely competent, you get at least a B. That was my experience. I put very minimal effort into most of my classes in college, but one I did take, and it was to try to bolster my own writing ability, was a creative writing class. First time that
Okay,
I had
well, there we
properly
go.
taken a class that was structured in a peer review format. And the first time that I'd really had proper peer reviews outside of friends just telling me, oh, this looks good, I was getting critical feedback on the things that I was writing in this class. They
Wow,
would
that has
sit
to be a
down
game
for an hour
changer.
and say, okay, now we're going to talk about this.
I wonder if the
student's work.
volleyball
Everyone
players
was
were
solely focused on
annoyed
their
that they were
piece
just
and
sitting
picking it
there
apart and
during the
talking
class.
about it. And that was really cool. First short story I made for that class was something that was actually used in Mythos. That was pretty much a fairy tale, like storybook retelling of the Twilight arc. They were all very interested in it.
Fairy
It was a very pretty
tale.
setting.
Fairy
and they
tale,
would
I
read a
mean.
fairy tale book like that. And I was like, that's interesting. So
can
when
see
it
the
came down
inspiration
to
there
the
for
second
Freak
time in
Show a
that
little
semester we were
bit.
able to write a short story, I was out of ideas. I spent one night, I want to say enough time that the sun went down and it was dark, sitting by a fountain trying to think in the middle of my campus. Came up with this story that I was somewhat attached to, that I kind of convinced myself to like, that was mainly just focused on just two characters meeting and having a chance conversation and realizing that they were more alike than they realized. They could make improvements on each other's lives by just talking. It sounded cooler in my head back then. Anyway.
What? No, it does sound cool. What do you mean?
It never mattered because
It sounds
whenever I stood
down
up
to
and I
earth,
started walking back
I
towards
think.
my dorm. By the way, it was due the next day. I only do things when they're
Nice.
immediately due the next day.
Nice,
So-
guys.
Yeah, you work better.
Don't
under
follow
pressure.
his example.
I was heading back and I was like, okay, time to write my 15.
Don't follow his example, guys.
Put in my headphones and I'm listening to music. Radio just goes through, and it
I bet you
picks
this guy
a song
absorbed-
that I hadn't listened to before.
I bet you
but it
this
was like
guy during college absorbed 5-hour energy like Android 17 and 18. Like, you know, like, oh man, I used to have a whole bunch of that when I was in college, having to deal with projects, and I wasn't last minute either. It's just, I just think I had a hard time like during my life, like on my last year and a half.
called I'm Wasted by a band called Ghost Town, and they make, I want to say, like Halloween themed music. But I heard this song, I immediately was struck with inspiration. Where I
Halloween,
was
huh?
seeing this vision for a series. I had these flashes of main character that was being given a love potion by someone else, and then that was causing them to develop like feelings. And then I started spiraling.
Capadone?
I was like,
The
oh my God,
inspiration
okay,
for
so, like, wait,
Capadone?
how did they get this like love potion? Like, why is it made? Oh, they get it from a witch. Okay, why is there a witch? How do I make it like humane? How do I add like depth? Okay, what if the main
Yeah.
character was like a cold, unfeeling monster, and then they drinking potions? And it wasn't just a love potion; there were other potions, and it was making them feel emotions for the first time. Rapidly expanded into.
Wait, so
becoming
that
freak
particular
shows.
episode in Freak Show was the inspiration for the whole series? That's crazy. Teaching a cold, heartless monster to learn how to feel, huh? That's cool.
Cool for monsters to be rehabilitated into acting more human. The first time I wrote it, I went over 3 pages and I didn't care. I took the
That's it?
grade hit because I was more about the passion
Oh,
rather
wait,
than the
wait,
restrictions
wait.
of the assignment. So even though I got punished for writing,
Were you
more
only allowed
because
to
I
write
thought that my peers had
less?
to read more, I didn't care. And I came into my class with my first
That's
draft
crazy. You got punished for writing more good things. That's wild.
of the story, and I had glowing responses, people fawning over how creative
Oh,
the
the
setting
confidence, I
is,
can
and
see it.
how well written it was, and how appealing the characters were, and how it borrowed so heavily from supernatural mythos. At the end of the semester, when I did my final revision, I had to pick one of my short stories to do it, and I did it with Freak Show. The final product ended up being like 24 pages. I expanded that short story even more. It turned out incredible. My review that I got from my professor at the end was a specific note where they told me, like, this cannot stay a short story. You need to make this bigger.
I think a common thing for a lot of creatives when they finally like step on the gas and really push towards something they really want to do, like one of the most important things is to have whether it's a parent or a really close friend that you respect, or a peer or something like that, give you confidence in what you're doing. That little bit goes so far. Like for me, it wasn't even like a peer necessarily. It was like a coworker or like a boss. When I was doing video editing, for example, I did some scratch audio voiceover for a video for a client, and I was getting complimented by coworkers and my boss about it. And this is when I had zero thought or attention of looking at voiceover, and that stuck with me even a year after I left the job. And I think that was one of the important triggers, among other things, that got me into VO in the first place, to even consider it. So, like, for a creative, that actually matters a lot. So it's always important to, like, no matter what you're working on, doesn't matter where you're at, to have a group of people you can share your ideas and stories with. And iron sharpens iron, as they always say.
They suggested a novel. I obviously
You
thought
were like, who
another way.
reads?
Yeah, when I was thinking of a next project to work on at some point, I want to say it was either around Echoes or it was around Wishbrook. I originally thought I could do Freak Show. I wanted to, but at the time I didn't have the resources to construct a completely unique school and then make all of the models that I would need for all of like the different monsters to be able to portray them and everything. And I had just a whole lot of restraints that made it seem
I wonder
like
who made the
it wasn't
models.
really something I could accomplish in Minecraft. I couldn't enact my vision that I had for the short story. Started working on Wishbrook Resort, where we started doing our own custom models, like with cat ears and tails.
Okay.
I was winding down and I was stalling on my channel.
Oh, like the animation?
What do I do? I was taking inventory.
Yeah, man, the
I
animation's
found
smooth.
And I started thinking about the resources that I now have.
Also,
access to
as
and the
someone
things that
someone who watches as someone who's in Aphmau animation, you know, who does Aphmau voiceover, there's certain ticks in the animation style or like with movements or the way characters react to other characters in general that I pick up and notice. Like the way certain characters shift between poses, for example, for Rex's animations is a lot different and unique compared to Aphmau's cutscenes. Like Aphmau's is a lot more bouncy, squash and stretch, in my personal opinion, and there's a little bit more Shonen in Rexiiphers, where it's like there's more of a smoother transition in when characters shift between poses, right? Which makes it more grounded and less zany, right? By comparison, right? And they're both Minecraft models and stuff like that, right? So, you know, something to think about. Like, you don't see a lot of squash and stretch on Rexiiphers animations, for example, and what you get is like the feel of it is different. And I think that's important to make sure that you're distinctly different than someone else, even if they're in the same niche. It's really important. If you can pull that off, and you understand that, then you're going to be successful eventually, as long as the writing's good, of course. Hey, what's up, Lavender?
learned over the course of working on my other series, and I was like, is this possible? Initially, I planned on using custom NPCs for dialogue, believe it or not, but I hated it so much, I found a different way of going at it. After
No, I didn't watch
for a long
Mermaid
time, I was
Tales,
like, oh my
the
God,
new one. I didn't
it's
watch it yet.
possible. And it turned out very well, and I am very proud of it. And being able to put that out there and seeing the fan response, it showed me that I really was sitting on something special for a long time.
Did you ever expect
What is
the
that?
show to reach the
What was that? What was that? What is this?
Very proud of it, and being able to put that out there and
What is this? Cubed 2025? What is this? Oh, it's Swampert over there. I almost said the other name. I'm sorry. I have such a, I don't know why specifically his name gives me such a problem. Was it like a convention or something? Like an online Minecraft convention thing? That's what it looks like.
seeing the fan response, it showed me that I really was sitting on something special for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
ever
Lightning in a
expect the
bottle,
show to
man.
reach the level of popularity it has? Because you always got good reviews, and it seems like everyone was giving it such praise even before it was a show.
Yeah.
Didn't think it would do bad.
Before the show?
But I was completely blindsided by the degree of which it did well. It completely caught me off
Yeah?
guard. Wishbrook, like 2 months later, at that point in time, had like 40K on.
I still haven't seen that yet.
Which compared to Echoes,
Is that good?
which had,
That's
like,
really good.
approaching like 100K at the time, and
100K.
Skyline, which had broke 100K within like.
Actually, I kind of want to see what the views are on Freak Show right now, because it sounds like it exploded like crazy. I never really looked at like how many views the videos have. I might look at that after this video.
The first month, it felt like I was going down rather than going up, especially
Going
as it felt like
down,
the quality was
oh.
improving. And so seeing Freak Show perform as well as it did and reaching a very
That girl.
wide audience.
Why am I here? Wait, I just realized that this video had 36K views. Also, why am I here? Why am I the example? Why am I the example? What is going on? Why? Why am I your poster child? You don't need me. What the heck? Hello? Rex? Write it out. We gonna have to talk.
was really satisfying to see. The first series that I was putting a lot of thought into of how I would have it outreach.
I think Rex reacted to me doing the first episode, by the way.
The amount of new viewers that came.
You're famous, James? No, I'm not. What are you talking about? Bro, we are not even there yet. Don't even try it. I came in a while ago asking the same thing, but it's vampire. Yeah. Just at some point we will. Yeah, I'm not famous, bro. What are you talking about? Look at this. This is famous. Okay, chill.
Series was very overwhelming initially.
He's
super
doing
happy
things
with how successful.
I'm
it
just
was,
reacting
but
to
I can't
Arrestable
say
Behavior.
I put it out, and I was like, oh yeah, this one's gonna get me.
I have a question, random question, because maybe I'm just not understanding things. But like, was I one of the few people reacting to Freak Show? Because I there's no way, right? There's no way. Because you guys are acting like, oh, you're so famous, James. Shut up. No, I'm not. Let's check this out. I'm actually gonna look it up. I'm gonna go Freak Show reaction or something like that. And I also want to see what the views are for it right now. I might as well. Oh, and apparently Deltarune episode 2 coming out today. Apparently. Freak Show. Rexiipher. Reaction. Okay, let's see what we get here. God damn it. Dang it. Okay. Okay. See, does it no one else? Okay, here's it's analysis. See, yes, other people. Yeah. There we go. React. Wait, Freak Show the main four reacted themselves. The cast is reacting to themselves. That's me again. Don't worry about it. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. Freak Show teaser 2. What's a teaser? Oh, okay. Deltarune, Wishbrook. Well, that was 117. Huh. All right. While we're here, I want to see what the Freak Show, how the Freak Show series is doing, because I do think it's. I have a feeling that it's been doing really well, but I never checked the views. Okay, let's view the full playlist real quick. I'm just curious. Wow, the first episode is 688K views. And then it kind of dropped off a little bit to it kind of, I guess it just evened out to about 300K views. Huh. There goes the Christmas one. That was only 2 months ago. Okay. So like it started off like crazy and then it evened out as the series went on, which makes sense. Was it really only 8 episodes? Or 9 episodes, I guess. Huh, okay, cool. Okay, so, alright, so maybe I'm the main person reacting to it, okay? Alright, but just give it some time. Alright, like, chill, alright? Just stop trying to glaze me, chat.
Get crap.
Stop it.
I would have been blown away if it broke 100K within a month.
I mean, you've only been getting better. I think it's completely fair that eventually you were gonna get your giant.
I really
moment of,
hope
like,
that
it's
is a season 2.
Oh yeah, I mean, right before Freak Show came out, our team was probably at its smallest. I've mentioned this in live streams, but a lot of the set pieces, Rev's house, the main hallway of the school, the main set pieces of the school, even the school's like overarching like palette and everything, I did myself in my own time, building, writing, and filming entirely solo.
You gotta get someone else to do that for you, man. You do too much already. I mean, you're already doing the writing and all the directing and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure. You gotta get someone to do that for you. But maybe it's a matter of like time and like trust and stuff like that.
It wasn't until like we started getting to like right before we were about to put it out that we onboarded a couple more builders.
I would imagine for Deltarune, he's had to like let the reins off a little bit and let someone else do more
and therefore
to
we're
make it
gaining
work.
like applications and the assistance that we needed.
Is that how we got from Freak Show to Deltarune? Because that came out so quick after Freak Show ended with barely any break.
Oh yeah, we were working on Freak Show. We're approaching the tail end. I started thinking of, okay, let me look towards the future now.
Were they working on some of Deltarune simultaneously to Freak
How do
Show?
I start planning coming out, Deltarune was a game I've always idolized and something
Let's
I wanted to see
go.
adapted into a series.
That was
And I
so
knew I
cool to
would have
see,
to be the
man.
person to do it, otherwise it
My
wouldn't
eyes
happen.
kind of
And
lit
so
up
when
when
I
I
was coming
saw
down,
this.
and I was like, well, Freak Show season 1 ends. What
Because
am
I
gonna
always
follow
wanted,
up
because I always
afterward?
wanted a Deltarune / Undertale anime. I feel like the world deserves that. You know what I mean? I feel like the world's been wanted a Deltarune / Undertale like series, anime of some sort. And I'm sure there's fan series of stuff online, right? Like comics or clips of like short little indie animation stuff like that. But like a full-on series, you know what I mean? I would honestly love like an official series.
Because I need another
2.
thing to keep it moving.
Season
Deltarune's
2,
feasible
yeah.
requires a lot more of a team than what we had initially and like before going to Freak Show and everything. But by the time we were coming out the end of it, I was like, we have the team size, we have builders that we need, we have the modelers that we need, we have all of the resources that could potentially be able to not make this
I'm
insanely
gonna
burdensome
thrash
for, like,
you.
one
I love
person
that guy.
in particular. Feels realistic. This is probably going to be our highest like production. Like there's so
You should
many
interview,
models,
write it out to
so
know
many
what he's all
pieces that
about. I
go
mean,
into
I didn't mean to
Deltarune.
rhyme it.
It was another test of like how far
Bars.
can we go.
What can you tell us about Deltarune? Is it going to be any different? Is there going to be something new that you're looking forward to?
Deltarune is, I think, a very complex story with a lot of deeper nuance that currently, as if you like when you just play the game casually, there is a great deal of depth to Chris's character that you really see in a
We
lot
gotta
of
get back
later
to
chapters
Deltarune,
in chapters
guys.
3 and 4.
We gotta
And
get
there is
back
a
to
great
it.
deal of subtlety in the story and a lot of things that exist only
Spammed
outside of
him.
the story through like
Wanna
fantasy
be a
sweepstakes
big shot?
or other like hidden lore pieces. I figured a great
lightener.
opportunity for this series is to offer some of these theories and what is considered like more niche.
I don't
knowledge
know
that you
why.
wouldn't find in
I don't
some
know why. When I saw spammed him just now, I was like, I don't know why. I imagine him just popping out of a garbage can and was like, "Have you played Abandoned Archive yet?" You know, like, I don't know why I thought that.
To the audience in a very narrative way. A lot of original Deltarune toys around with the idea of it being a 2D RPG game. That
My
you,
favorite character
as
is
the player,
Rules Card
are
right now,
engaging
dude.
with and are a
He's so
character in
funny.
itself. One of the things that I thought would be interesting is to approach it within more of a 3D
God damn it.
RPG angle, where it plays out more like it's a modern RPG rather than an old school RPG. Instead of seeing it exactly from the player's perspective, what if we saw it from Chris's? Player is now this enigma, this mysterious character that we can't see or hear, in the same way of when we normally play the game, we can't see or hear Chris. It's taking these pre-existing ideas, expanding them, making them look beautiful, and reimagining what they would look like in 3D space, taking Castletown and expanding it to be an actual proper Castletown.
Does he use the
rather than
official soundtrack of
one-tile
of
location that it is
Deltarune,
in
or
the
does
game,
he
but then also taking
have his own
stories
custom
there
tracks that
and
are
elevating
similar in
Chapter
ilk to
one
the
is a
to the
great
style of
opportunity
it?
for this to
I
happen
wonder.
because
I might have
this
to go
is
back
my
and
personal
check.
opinion. When it comes to narrative, chapter 1 is kind of the weakest out of all the Deltarune chapters. You learn the least about the
Well, yeah, it's the most simple, right? They want to ease you in, most likely. That's what I'm thinking. If they make it too complex early, it could catch some people off guard. So you kind of want to ease them in, make them have questions by the time they get to the end of the first part.
world
That
you
get
engage
answered
with the least
later.
amount of characters. A lot of it is just really focused on exactly one plot point. And that
Like
plot point in
basic-
regards to
just
Susie.
basic
You don't
character
really
point-
get anything
character development,
beyond
yeah.
that. I'm taking this
I see.
opportunity to create an actual, what I would imagine if Toby were to reapproach the chapter now
Like
with
a
the resources
reimagining?
that he does have of his team, how he would possibly approach it.
Well,
with
yeah, he
bringing
would
in
have more time to
characters,
get
weaving in
deeper,
more of that
for sure.
narrative. I'm putting my own unique spin and adding in a lot of depth and nuance and character that isn't there in just the base original game. And I think it makes very fresh, unique experience for both.
Yo, that snake in the background, bro. It's just he cheesing, man. I wish I was this happy. Constantly. I'm just saying, like, this guy doesn't have any issues at all in the world, man. He is the top 1%.
viewer and a longtime Deltarune
That top
fan.
1%
I really
energy,
want to
dude.
bounce off that. You're talking about wanting to expand on everything. Is there anything that you really want to create now having all these resources you do today?
Yes.
Like what?
But unlike a lot of other creators, I'm very tight-lipped. I like holding my cards all the way to my chest up
Like, what crazy are you talking about?
until like the microsecond I'm about to drop something. But it is part of my plan. There is something that I've thought about that in the past,
Hey, what's up, Harry?
I would say I approached the vision of this, that I did it poorly because of the resources at my time. But with the resources I have now, I
Looks
see
like he
how
has
I'd
plans to
approach
do
it
something
currently, and I
else.
think it would be one of the coolest things in
Ooh, you know what he probably would do? Probably revisit an older series and update it. He might do that, guys. Although I think it might be... I would personally prefer it if he did, you know, after he does Deltarune, like season 1, do a freak show and then alternate between the two. I think that'll be a fun thing to do. Hi, I'm such a big Write It Out fan. I didn't expect you to react to his content. We've done it a few times before. Yeah, we did it a few times before. I met him a few years ago at VidCon too. You know.
The modern Minecraft roleplay spheres yet. I have already started putting the pieces in motion for that. As for what it is, I can't say. That's the unfortunate fact of the matter.
You can't hype it up and then be like, I can't say it.
I can't say. If I do, the haters will try to sabotage me. You know how it is.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's definitely this year, I think. As for when this year, I don't know, but I see it happening this year. And I would say about as excited I was for Freak Show. I think it's going to be another one of those magnum opuses for my channel.
I like your funny words, Magic Man. Good job. We're all expecting the Mona Lisa now. Since we've already talked about the next big thing, that obviously means you will bring back the old stuff, right? Right? Because like in an
see, he brought it up. See, like, okay, so part of me feels like he probably wants to leave that as it is. Unless there's something very specific he really wish he could, maybe he regrets, like, not completing the story the way he wanted to, you know what I mean? Like, if there was, like, an MCD Season 3 for him somewhere in his lineup that he might want to reconsider bringing about, he might do that. But I think it also depends on, you know, what the fans want and what's being viewed, you know what I mean? Like, right now, for example, I will alternate between a season of Deltarune. I don't know how long Deltarune's going to be, though, so it's going to be weird for me. Or maybe he'll do Undertale, and maybe bridge them together somehow. But having like season 2 of Freak Show, and then after that, another season of whatever new custom project he wants to do, whether it's another season of Deltarune, Undertale, or something else. I'm not sure what else I have no idea what he's planned, though. I have no idea whatsoever. Do you know Rexiipher too or something? Well, I mean, I know the channel. We watched Freak Show. We watched the whole season of Freak Show, actually. We reacted to all of that on my channel. Freak Show Season 2 will win all Machinima Hub Awards. I didn't even know there's like an award for this. Actually, do I? No, no, didn't we react to something where he got an award for something? I think we did, actually.
old video you did like 7 months ago, I'm just gonna call you out right now, I'm sorry. But you mentioned that some shows would still continue, and that Wishbrook, being one of them, would have 10 more episodes planned. But there hasn't been an episode since. What's up with that, Rexiipher?
Uh-oh,
yeah,
threatening.
So in the original planning for Wishbrook, it tended to be 15 episodes.
Why do you keep making so new
Looking
stories?
Back at the document, I was a bit disappointed with how those episodes were panning out, especially with how Freak Show work and what made Freak Show work. That isn't to say I'm forgetting Wishbrook or discarding it completely. A lot of like the fan response to Wishbrook has been fawning over it after they found Freak Show. To me, what that tells me is that Wishbrook is a series that has a lot of potential, but doesn't appeal to a wider audience unless they are given reason to watch it. If I were to put out an episode 6 just today, just flat out like necro drop it, out of nowhere, it would access my inbuilt fans. It wouldn't access a wider audience. And as unfortunate as it is,
okay, he's trying to focus. He's trying to focus on expanding his audience. That makes perfect sense. That's what you want to do. That makes perfect sense. And if that's the strategy, then he's gonna want to try to do projects that potentially like similar to Deltarune, where he's able to draw in audiences from different IPs as a fan work, and then they get interested in his other stuff because of it. Like Freak Show got me into his channel, right? And a lot of people, it's gonna be the same way with Deltarune. So that gives me a little bit of a hint into what he's planning next. It's probably not going to be a revitalization of an older series. It's probably going to be something similar to what Deltarune is, except for a different IP. So the question is, like, what series do you think he'll do that really fits the aesthetic of the animation style he's using, and that he feels like he's confident he can write, maybe due to the amount of material that he can put his own spin on. So that's really the question for you guys.
It is unfortunately quite far from it. I would expect it to net less views. I would put it on par very similarly to being the exact same workload as Deltarune. The difference being Deltarune is new and it has an IP attached and it's following Freak Show and has a bunch of things in its favor, allowing it to perform well. Wishbrook episode 6 hypothetically doesn't have it. Now, I have plans for Wishbrook.
Let's go.
As for what those plans are, I will refuse to say.
Of course.
I think he should, if he is going to do, I don't know what Wishbrook is like, but I'm going to guess here and say that if he is going to continue Wishbrook in any way, it probably could be in the form of like a movie format, where every several months, he just puts out an extra long episode, or like a part 1, part 2, and just do it like that, right? To sprinkle it in. Or he could do, or if he wants to bring it back fully, he can do kind of like he can Dragon Ball Z Kai, where he kind of like tightens up some of the, the things he didn't like so much about it, and just maybe trim it down a little bit so that new people can just easily digest it and just get right into it and not feeling like they have to like watch a whole chunk of like 100 episodes. I don't know. I think Wishbrook is like 5-6 episodes, like he said. So that's also possible. Just throwing ideas out there.
If I give all my cards, if I let them play from my chest, I will hear about it from now until forever. I already know it's going to take me months to get to. I would rather them be asking me if I'm ever going to do something than to be demanding it every day up until when I can finally do it.
Yeah, I'm a prime example of that.
Yeah, I mean, the worst could happen, right? Prefer to avoid disappointment as much as I can.
Yeah, especially since you're only just the one person, like obviously you have a whole team, but like it mainly is still just you, right?
Yeah, and diverting all that resources like to a frankly very new team that's still largely untrained and very volunteer. It's a little bit too much of a burden to expect them to
I see. That's where he's at right now. Okay, I got you. So he's still working on it. That's gonna be the main factor into all the things I mentioned before. Like none of that stuff I mentioned before is even possibly gonna happen until that team develops. He gains more trust in them, which takes time, obviously. If he wants to put more time and effort into these projects, obviously some things might have to change structurally. But yeah, I wasn't sure how far he was into this team that he has created, how far it has been, but based on what I've seen from Deltarune, they look very talented. So, if he can keep as many of those guys as possible, he should. Maybe it's a funding thing. Maybe if he got more funding, he could pull something off. I don't know.
Animate an entire episode.
Maybe it'll work out. Maybe it'll accelerate things.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I do remember you saying in a live stream and stuff that as long as us fans show our support, you will continue to make more of that, right?
Yes, this is
Makes
true.
sense.
All right, well, if you're like me, then make sure to go and show some support so Mr. Rexiipher can hopefully make something out of it.
I mean, Freak Show's the best series on my channel, but if someone likes something so much, I like leaving my things open so that they can be revisited.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Is that a secret teaser?
Who knows?
No, it's not a secret teaser.
Not me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like you're writing it.
I shake a magic 8-ball every day and it tells me what I'm doing.
Just do it, but be drunk? Okay, hold up. What did that say?
I shake a magic 8-ball every day and it tells
Yes, but do it drunk as F. That's crazy. Can I suggest for you to react to MCRP? In the Discord, we have a section for that.
me what I'm doing in regards to everything. I go, is there gonna be a season 2? And it says, outcome unlikely. And I'm like, I guess they're waiting another week for me to shake this thing again.
You should probably go and grab it then, because my last question is, what's the future looking like? Are you looking forward to it? Are you dreading what's to come? Or are you excited at all?
We had a rough start this year, at least I did, with a lot of struggles that were immediate roadblocks over the course of the first month that slowed me down in my plans immensely. But even though
I feel that
we're rapidly making a comeback, I declared on a live stream that this would be the year of Rexiipher. I still think that's the case.
The year of Rexiipher.
Still very confident. I know that there's at least 2 things that are going to come out this year that are going to really blow everyone away, and I cannot wait for those 2 things to come out.
Whoa! Hold up.
At least 2 things that are going to come out.
At least 2. Bro, it's March. All right, chat. In the comments below, let me know what could he possibly be doing. Maybe a Freak Show movie? Maybe that? I don't know. Maybe an offshoot of Freak Show. I keep on going back to Freak Show, dude. I'm the 600th member of this channel. Like, what are you talking about? You can't just say 600 and be like, all right, no explanation. Anyways.
Going to really blow everyone away, and I cannot wait for those 2 things to come out.
All right, well, thank you so much for
looks like they're already working on it, man.
It was awesome to have you and to hear your backstory.
Let's go.
Is there anything else you want to say before we end this?
Subscribe to Rexiipher.
Subscribe to Rexiipher.
Subscribe.
All right, thank you so much, man. Have a good day.
I'm already subscribed, guys. I'm already subscribed. Did you subscribe already? See, we reacted to this video over here in the past, not too long ago, like last month, actually. Did I do a good job voice acting? I don't know if I'll react to that one. I don't make him nervous. All right, guys, that was a fun interview by Write It Out with Rexiipher. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll probably post a comment about it later. But thank you so much for watching. That was super fun. What is your favorite Rexiipher series? Let me know in the comments below, because perhaps, maybe, just maybe, I'll check out the first episode of it. Just one episode, okay? I might check out one. I said that about Freak Show too, by the way. I was like, yeah, I'll watch one. I'll watch it for like 15 minutes. I remember now. I said, I'm gonna watch it for like 15 minutes. We ended up watching the whole damn thing. That's crazy. You ever had a chance to watch Rexiipher? We'll get to it. Skill issue. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications so YouTube and Twitch Senpai can finally notice us. Make sure you follow Rexiipher and Write It Out as well, because I said so. Thank you so much for coming. I gotta go. Take care of yourself. And as always, stay out of jail. Especially you, Rex.